Today we are unveiling committee targets and a broad framework for the Minnesota Values budget. Our budget makes honest investments to strengthen communities around our state. This budget will improve education opportunities, support our families, and increase economic prosperity, no matter where you live or what you look like. Minnesota is a great state, but we know that it can be even better. Our state's prosperity can and should reach even more Minnesotans. We're investing in the people of Minnesota because everyone deserves the opportunity to succeed. Years of Republican trickle-down economics and tax cuts for corporations and the wealthy have exploded income and wealth inequality. This inequality is bad for our economy. At the same time, investments in public goods like education have stagnated and in some cases even fallen. The House DFL budget restores tax fairness and makes historic investments in education. Our state economists recently let all of us know that future economic growth is constrained by shortages in our workforce. We know also that children are carrying the stress of this economic inequality to school. So our investments get at strengthening Minnesota's workforce and providing students the supports they need for the economic stressors in their life so that when they go to school, they can be ready to learn. Our budget invests $1.2 billion in education, $900 million in E-12, and $300 million in higher education. This allows us to provide support for all of our students in the E-12 context, and it allows us to freeze tuition at all public institutions in Minnesota. Along with Governor Walz, we also propose additional training dollars for job training over and above that. Instead of giving money to insurance companies, we'll implement health insurance discounts that go directly to consumers and a pathway for a public health care option. Our budget includes significant investments to increase economic security for families, improve the quality of our air, water, and land, address the threat of climate change, prevent gun violence, and tackle racial inequity. We're going to secure the Health Care Access Fund and protect health care for more than 1 million Minnesotans. To fund needed investments in education and transportation, our budget closes corporate tax loopholes, asks the wealthy to pay their fair share, and includes an increase in the gas tax. It's a responsible budget that leaves $600 million on the bottom line in the next biennium to make sure we're prepared in the event of a future economic downturn. The Minnesota Values budget will build a state that will work better for everyone.
Good afternoon. We are excited to present our budget targets today and start the path to a successful conclusion of this legislative session based on the values that Minnesotans care about. Republican tax giveaways, both in the form of tax cuts to large corporations and to the wealthy, as well as hundreds of millions of dollars to health insurance companies with no strings attached, have taken money away from our school kids, they've taken money out of health care, they've taken money away from roads, bridges, and transit, and other priorities. As we move through this session and budgeting process, we need to be honest about the choices in front of us. We do not have to do a great job taking care of people when they are disabled or when they're seniors. We do not have to provide a great workforce. We do not have to have great schools. We do not have to have good roads. But if we want to have those things, and Minnesotans overwhelmingly do, then we have to pay for it, and we have to pay for it honestly. That's what this budget is about. We will have great roads, we will have great schools, we will have a great affordable health care system, and we will do it honestly. We will have a great state budget. We are committed to doing this honestly, and we are committed to doing it well. And if we can't get it done this session, we are committed to keep coming back until we do. Thank you.
When we talk to Minnesotans, we hear the same common themes. Minnesota cares about our state, they care about their neighbors, and they want to see one another succeed. We want affordable health care, world-class schools, jobs with wages and benefits that can support a family, and economic security. The Minnesota Values budget moves us further in that direction. Our budget reflects the promises we made on the campaign trail and what Minnesotans have told us they value.
Questions?
Can you give us details on this tax proposal?
Representative Marquart.
Thank you. I'm State Representative Paul Marquart from District 4B. You'll see details starting on Wednesday when the Property Tax Division report comes out, and then the entire tax bill here in a couple weeks. But the bottom line is the tax bill is going to be about our future, what you heard right here, in that we're going to provide those needed resources for those very important investments that are going to improve the quality of life for folks around this state and also continue to move our economy forward. But a couple key components that I can talk about right now is one is going to be fairness. We're going to make a huge emphasis on fairness and also leveling the playing field. We know that the federal tax bill really benefited corporations and big businesses. We're going to level that playing field on the state and help our senior citizens and our working family and our farmers. And as Speaker Hortman mentioned, we're also going to address some of the problems we have. Number one, we have a declining deficit. We have a declining deficit, which means we can't put 1 cent of ongoing revenue into this biennium without looking at investments in our tax bill. So that's going to be important. And the other one is, that came out of the forecast, is a very tight labor force, which means we've got to do two things. Number one, we have to increase productivity, which Chair Dabney and Chair Bernardi and their education bills are going to work on that. We also have to make sure that we not only retain our young working families, but that we attract new families to this state. So we're going to level the playing field. We're going to be very aggressive in tax fairness, and you'll see us as we lay some of those things out.
But if you have targets, you must have a total as to what you hope to gain from various increases, dollar amount.
And let me talk about that for a second. If you look at the revenue increases in the 2021 budget, it's an increase of 4% over the February base. So put another way, that means our previous majority in the GOP in both the House and the Senate has already approved, already given the okay, already written off on 96% of all the revenues we're going to raise. So let me say that again. 96% of all the revenues that are going to be raised in 20 and 21 to make sure that we have really important investments in education and healthcare and public safety and our people around the state, 96% of those revenues already approved by the GOP majorities from the last few sessions.
So you don't know. So you don't know the total, or you're just not going to tell us the total.
I think you have to wait. That's a surprise. So I just and it can switch a little bit, but I don't know if I would care to do that at this time.
Okay, tax increase number we do have is 20-cent gas tax. Madam Speaker, if you could talk about that. I know there are some freshmen from more competitive districts who didn't want a number that big.
Well, I think that we feel confident that Governor Walz has made the right call on investments in transportation. And he has rightfully pointed out that a family that's driving down the road and runs into a pothole and has $1,400 worth of repair to tires and alignment doesn't really like that expense either. The gas tax that the governor has proposed is responsible. It's phased in. It's not all at once. It's 5 cents. It's in 5-cent increments for the most part. And what we did is an evaluation of what the need was and what the funding was required to meet the need, and we think 20 cents is a responsible number.
Is it an opening offer, knowing realistically that could never pass the Senate?
It is the number that is justified by the need, and we'll see what our Senate counterparts believe. I mean, our Senate counterparts have talked about the need to invest in transportation. Now, the question is, do they want to take from nursing homes and schools to make those needed investments in transportation, or do they want the user fees that have always supported the Highway User Trust Fund to be used to support that investment?
Madam Speaker, when we saw divided government in 1999, a little different. It was a Republican governor, it was a Republican House and a Democratic Senate. You're in an opposite position now. Then we got a third. What type of negotiations do you envision with the Senate majority when they see compromises capitulation?
Well, I don't know that that's an accurate representation of where Senator Gazelka is. You'll have to talk to him, but I don't see the third coming down the pike anytime soon.
As you know, Madam Speaker, potholes are not paid for exclusively with gas tax funds. Last week we had mayors from a whole spectrum of cities saying, hey, what about us? We need a change in the formula that gives us our street maintenance funds. Do you have anything in the budget to address that?
Well, what's really important to recognize is that 40% of the gas tax revenue goes back to counties and cities in the current distribution formula. So to the extent any gas tax is paid or any new gas tax is raised, 40% already goes to local roads in local communities. So the gas tax does fill potholes. We are looking for those who I refer to as orphans in the Highway User Trust Fund. Right now, small cities and townships don't get a guaranteed allocation, and Chair Hornstein tells me he has paid special attention to those needs as he's drafting his bill.
You know, the governor had to resubmit his budget request, and it was scaled back. This is your first budget request, but did you have to scale back expectations? Were there areas where you wanted to spend but found you couldn't after the last economic forecast?
Well, we had the good fortune of not having to draft our budget targets until the final numbers came from the state economist and after the governor had made his revisions. So we knew we were dealing with a constrained environment. And it's really important for people to recognize what's in the state budget forecast because our plan responds to the conditions that we have. The conditions that we have are that we only have enough projected positive balance 2 years from now to really cover inflation in some areas, and not even enough to cover inflation in all areas. So if we want to make new investments, if we want to strengthen Minnesota's education system, and we should, we need new revenue.
Can you tell us about some of the areas where your proposal diverges from what the governor suggested? Looks like public safety and taxes might be a couple of those.
Well, I could let Chair Dabney speak to where we're going in education. We think the major markers, he was correct. Governor Walz has correctly expressed Minnesotans' values and priorities in his budget, and our budget is very consistent with the values and priorities that the governor has expressed. We're more aggressive on tax fairness so that we can be more aggressive about investing in education, but I'll let Chair Dabney speak to how we plan to do that.
Representative Jim Dabney, House District 63A, and Chair of the Education Finance Committee here in the Minnesota House. The education bill that we're going to put together this year is one that is rooted in the conversations we've been having with Minnesota from the campaign trail through the session, and that is that we put students and their families at the center of our deliberations and students and family at the centers of our budget. What do students need? They need academic challenging programming. They need supportive educational environments. This morning I met with the Minnesota School Boards Association, school board members from around the state. What did they talk to me about? They talked to me about adequate funding. They talked about school counselors and social workers. They talked to me about mental health support for students. That's where we begin. Strong programming, strong academics, strong support for students and their families.
What's the size of this budget then?
The total budget?
Compared to Walz.
You're asking a question that I need glasses for. That's a good question for the chair of the Ways and Means Committee.
Puts his glasses on.
And I have to put my glasses on.
I see he has the spreadsheet up top.
The total budget will be the net available $48,455,000,000, which is close to what the governor had recommended.
Okay, you say you're going to be more aggressive in tax fairness. Can you be more specific? Does that mean sock it to the rich and how so?
No, it's going to be fairness. According to the Congressional Budget Office, in April of 2018, they came out with a report after the Tax Cut and Jobs Act that said about $300 billion of profits or income through gimmicks, are sheltered in low tax havens. And that means billions of dollars of income lost to the state of Minnesota. And that's been going on for 35 years. Let me give you one example. In Bermuda, in 2014 report by the IRS, because these companies had to report, there was $96 billion of profits listed in Bermuda, $96 billion. You know what the entire GDP, total output of goods and services in Bermuda? $6 billion. That's 16 to 1. I mean, that's physically impossible to do that. And the Grand Caymans, it was 40 billion of profits to 3. Something is happening there. And so the federal government, when they did the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, actually gave states a tool, a couple of them. One is the global intangible low tax income. And that is an effort to, because they realized this was a problem, to try to recapture these dollars. Because I don't think it's fair that a business or a farmer, who, by the way, in a report that just came out today, the lowest income in 23 years for farmers, just came out a report today. I don't think a business and a farmer should be paying more in taxes because some company's able to use gimmicks to shelter their profits in Bermuda. I don't think it's fair that a senior citizen or a working family should pay more in taxes because we're letting some company get by with using gimmicks to tax in Grand Cayman and hide their. And that's what we're talking about, fairness. And this
loopholes in corporate tax shelters.
That's exactly right. And this has been going on for about 35 years. The federal government then, back in 1984, with President Reagan and Treasury Secretary Don Regan, said, we're going to help states recapture this. Instead, they moved just the opposite way with what they've been doing. And so we've lost revenue, quite frankly, for 35 years. And if you're looking at $300 billion of income, and let's say Minnesota's 2%, that's $6 billion of income that we're losing each and every year. So I think it's incumbent upon a state, if we want to protect our seniors and our working families and our farmers, that we start creating more fairness in this area and start capturing those dollars.
Well, Mr. Chairman, so the tax fairness concept is pretty clear that you want to apply that to corporations. Does that also extend to individual taxpayers? I'm talking about upper income. Is that going to be part of the proposal as well?
We're going to look at tax preferences also. And again, if you, and I could go on and cite a number of statistics in the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, but you know, the corporation and business tax cuts were permanent, and 40% cut on corporations. If you look at the individual side, according to the Joint Committee on Taxes, already, if you've got a $30,000 income, you start seeing tax increases by 2021. And if you're $40,000, by 2025, you start seeing increases. And those are temporary, whatever little benefit they have. So it's not only a huge tax fairness, but also look at leveling the playing field for those folks who simply did not benefit under the federal tax bill.
So are we looking at a fourth tier raise or a fifth tier? Or?
You see where we're going.
Yeah, we know that you want all the information about the tax bill right now, and you're not going to get it right now. It will come out when the tax bill is released. The details will be forthcoming. I think it's important to understand, however, that our tax bill will be a real tax bill. It will actually raise the revenue needed to fund state government. The investments in education, the investments in healthcare, the investments in transportation will be paid for. It won't be funny money. It won't be deficit spending like we've seen in recent years, not just from Trump and Washington, but the kind of cook the books method that Republicans in Minnesota have been using for years. We are not going to do that. We are going to make a clear choice for Minnesotans. Either we pay for the things that we want or we can't do them. That's the choice in front of us. There's no free lunch. And we will be, I think, having a major discussion this session with the Senate about whether we're going to cook the books and make things look good for the next 2 years or whether we'll have a real budget in place. But the details of our proposal will be emerging. Not in the next 5 minutes.
The Senate says it's $1 billion surplus and no need to raise taxes, and their targets later this week will use the $1 billion surplus.
That is a choice. We can decide not to raise any revenue, keep the budget right where it's at, but that means that we effectively are cutting health care, we are cutting education, we are doing nothing in transportation. Minnesota is either standing still or moving backwards under that proposal. And there's no amount of waste, fraud, and abuse in health and human services that will fix that. There's no amount of raiding one-time funds that will fix that. If we don't pay for it, we can't have it. And that's the thing that they need to get honest about this session.
And that's a cut? No,
If
increase is a cut?
If inflation is going up 2% and you get a 0% increase, that's a cut.
You know, Republicans don't observe the laws of physics when we talk about things like climate change, and sometimes they like to ignore the laws of economics when we talk about budgets. There is a thing called inflation. Families have to deal with it. School districts have to deal with it. And we're acknowledging that honestly in our budget and saying that if we want to fund the things we care about, we need to increase revenue.
Will you have a bonding bill, and if so, what size?
Yes, we have put in our budget resolution enough debt service to fund a $1.5 billion bonding bill, plus the $102 million that we've already approved. And then we give Chair Mary Murphy a little cash, $10 million in cash.
How about higher ed? That's the second largest increase. Can you talk about the reason behind that?
Representative Bernardi, please come on. We in the House feel very strongly about tuition freezes.
The proposal to help with our students in higher education comes from our conversations throughout Minnesota that we have had. And we have heard loud and clear from families the impact that higher tuition costs have on them as well as their children and people attending college. So our proposal puts that as a priority for the state of Minnesota and will fund a tuition freeze at our public universities.
One of the few things that you do jointly is make a decision on the regions. Has that been resolved yet?
We're currently discussing dates with Senator Gazelka. Stay tuned, hopefully soon.
This morning, I think Representative Pinto was at this event, the child care rally, rally to fully fund child care. Do your budget targets include an increase in child care?
Hello, Representative Dave Pinto, PINTO for 64B, and I'm the chair of the Early Childhood Finance and Policy Division. And yes, the governor has proposed an increase in support for the Child Care Assistance Program, and we stand with the governor in that increase. We know that there are child care needs throughout the state. We had a hearing with the Jobs Committee and Early Childhood Committee in St. Cloud, in fact. And so this remains a priority for our caucus. And recognizing, you've heard from education, from higher education, from birth all the way on up, it's critical to us that kids get off to a great start, and that benefits all of us. Thank you.
You'll have that integrity money in as far as you know.
And yeah, so there are a number of proposals to ensure integrity of the program, and of course, any misuse of funds hurts the kids and families who depend on the program so much, and we want to make sure that we're continuing our support for the program, and yes, certainly does include those proposals as well. Thank you.
House Republicans earlier this morning they accused you guys of not taking the problem of fraud and CCAP seriously. You want to respond to that?
So again, I mean, we take any misuse of public funds in any program seriously, and certainly a program that's dedicated to assisting families with child care and assisting kids in getting off to a great start. That's very important. We have a series of proposals, and we'll be discussing those this week. And we don't want to lose sight of how critical the program is as well for those families. The kids on the wait list on that program shouldn't be left waiting even longer while we're addressing those concerns. So no, we're taking it quite seriously. We have a number of proposals, and we can detail those further. But it's important that we do both those things. Thank you.
Lyndon has a correction. Then I want to say something about the order of operations here.
As I was putting my glasses on in terms of the question on the size, I gave you the net available, and what I should have given you was the net spending, which is $47,819,000,000. Just to make a correction there. And earlier it pointed out that we have some on the bottom line that we carry forward. That's the difference that I wanted to make sure you had.
So, and that document is on the Ways and Means Committee website, as is the budget resolution. So the way this works is we come up with a budget resolution, we give the targets to the chairs, then they go and they craft their bills. So their bills are in draft form, but the details are not finalized, which is part of the reason we can't give you the details, because they are drafting that with the members of their committee right now, or from now until April 12th.
Can you give us some details on the largest, significant increases in both jobs and state government? Is there any highlights?
Highlights the jobs budget. We're pretty close to the governor's number in jobs. So the investments that the governor is anticipating in the jobs committee are, that's about the level of investment that we thought was warranted. I think Representative Dabney's on the committee, but Chair Mahoney, I'm sure, has some opinions about how to allocate those resources. But part of what the Jobs Committee does is to really focus on making sure our workforce is ready, and especially those that are affected by downturns in their sectors, to make them retooled.
I would just add, there's a robust proposal on wage theft in the jobs bill, and that will be very similar, and maybe in fact exactly the same as what the governor has proposed. So it will be a significant increase in our ability to make sure that workers are actually getting paid for the work that they do. That's a big part of what the jobs target also includes.
And paid family leave.
Paid family and medical leave being another.
Within the judiciary and public safety, there's been a lot of overlap in discussions about what falls where, but just for clarity's sake, judiciary is basically civil law, data practices, and the courts, and the other part is corrections and cops, right? Is that basically how they delineate?
You nailed it. Shannon, last question.
You spoke about climate change just a few moments ago, but that's the smallest amount of change. Can you talk about that?
It's a really tiny budget item, so we're doing more than double what the governor is. We're doing almost 3 times more than the governor's proposed increase in that area. And what really makes the most significant difference in the area of climate change is policy. And I think you'll see a very robust policy bill from Chair Wagenius.
Madam Speaker, how do you get to a compromise on this? You're lining up pretty closely with the governor, but I don't need to tell you, the Senate Republicans don't like hardly any of this. How do you get there?
You know, we have seen parties close very large gaps in the 6 weeks or 8 weeks left that we have in the legislative session in the past, and we'll do it the same way this year. Tough negotiating, and although I think there's a little bit of a difference. I continue to notice this difference in the personalities. Senator Gazelka is a person who's able to separate the issues from the personalities. And if we continue to be able to do that, I think we might come up with some creative solutions that nobody has thought of and let the other person have a win.
Well, I'd like to add one other thing to that, and that is our bills will all be off the House floor and the Senate floor by May 1st. So we are setting up the maximum amount of time we can in order to have room to negotiate at the end of session as well. So we're not trying to do all of it in just a few days.
I understand the Speaker's point about Senator Gazelka and the attitude or the climate being a little bit different, but I think if we take Senator Gazelka at his word, there's no way that he's going to agree to a gas tax increase, which is a kind of a key portion of this. How do you get around that?
Well, you know, the Republicans have supported significant new investments in transportation funding over the last 5 years. So I would expect that they continue to support investment in transportation, and we'll talk about the best way to do that.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.